What's up, Twins folk? This is Tom Froming from TwinsDaily.com and the Twins Prospect Handbook, which is available now. As you see here, it's available in a paperback. You can also get it as an ebook, a PDF, if you don't want to wait. That's actually been dropped only $9.99, and that's available now. You get 170 player profiles. There's about 140 pages of information in this guy, so check that out. But welcome to Twins Prospects Weekly. As I explained at the start of this project, every week I'm going to be talking prospects on this channel. And as a way to kick that off, I was going through my top 50 list for 2020, and we have reached the top 10. This is going to be more show than tell. I'm going to show you a bunch of highlights of these guys and give you some links to where you can find a bunch more. I'm actually going to put a card up right now where you can find an entire playlist of Twins prospect highlights. But I'm going to give you little bits and pieces on some of these guys' highlights. But, if you're watching this video, you probably have some interest in prospects as it is. You're going to be pretty, familiar with the top 10. So I'm not going to go too in-depth on these guys. But as you can see here, I have Ryan Jeffers at number 10. A lot of people have him higher. Just kind of where I have him. I don't have anything against Ryan Jeffers. And an interesting fact is that he actually hit better than both Trevor Larnach and Alex Kirilloff in Double-A this year. Obviously as a catcher, that's pretty big. Here's a highlight of his.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a high fly ball out to deep center. Stuart Fairchild at the warning track, at the wall, it is gone! Second home run of the inning for the Blue Wahoos, and they now jump out in front 3-0.
Coming down to number 9, you see I'm still sticking with Wander Javier here in the top 10. Speaking of positional scarcity, shortstops are hard to find. This guy looked lost at points in 2019. Not going to lie. I mean, obviously, look at that stat line. It looks pretty bad. However, he did still hit 11 home runs in 80 games, which is pretty good. That was tied for second on Cedar Rapids. And as you can see there, a 10.2 walk percentage. The guy can work in that bat. So the tools are still there. He runs well. Really needs to have a bounce back year. Here's a highlight of his.
First pitch, Javier with a high fly ball to left center field. This one's going all the way back, and it is gone! Wander Javier with a grand slam to the deepest part of the ballpark.
And moving on along, speaking of power, Brent Rooker. I mean, wow, this guy can hit for power, especially when he's on. Started in AAA this year, had a bit of a trouble getting adjusted, but then hit his groove. And he was the Twins Daily Minor League Hitter of the Month for June. In 30 games, he hit .337 with a .507 OBP and slugged .612 that month. Unfortunately, he suffered an injury not long after that, right when it appeared that he was kind of the next guy about to be called up. Mainly played left field last year. I'm still going to list him as a first baseman here because I think if the Twins end up needing help at first base, they would turn to him. He only played left field last year, but I don't think his days at first are completely behind him. Here's a highlight of Rooker.
Only 19 games over. Uh-oh. Line shot deep to left. This is trouble.
We're tied.
Yeah, that is on.
At number 7, I have Keoni Cavaco, who was the number 1 pick of the Twins last year. And, the numbers look terrible, but he's only 18. That was only 92 plate appearances. He came in kind of a little brash, thinking that he was going to make the big leagues. I can't remember exactly what his quote was, but I remember thinking however many years he was thinking he could make it to the big leagues was a little crazy, considering how raw he was. So I think hopefully this experience of him kind of getting his teeth kicked in, to be honest, in his first professional experience is a slap in the face, and he realizes how much work he has to do. The tools are very impressive. Just seeing this guy in the field obviously has a ways to go. At number 6, I have Jordan Balazovic. He's been a guy who's been talked about quite a bit. He knows what he's doing out there. This guy really knows how to pitch. I think the most likely guy in the entire organization right now in terms of prospects who's most likely to stick as a starting pitcher. I didn't think he was going to, push himself to this level. But to be fair, I did have him as my breakout guy in the 2019 Twins Prospect Handbook. However, I didn't think that he would be ending up on the cover of the 2020 Prospect Handbook. What a rise of his prospect status this year. So much fun to watch.
To appear in a Major League All-Star game, Swaggerty swings Balazovic.
There's the fastball. Here's the curveball. Check this one out. Here's the overlay. Same pitch for a while. Totally different ending point. Look at this. Same thing. Exact same spot. Totally different. All right, moving on down the list, getting into the top 5. One thing I want to say here, and I've mentioned this throughout other parts of the list, is that some of these decisions are razor thin. If you were to tell me Ryan Jeffers, who I have at number 10, it should be the number 5 prospect, I'm not going to call you crazy. There's a very thin difference between a lot of these guys, and this is such a deep system. But I do have Jhoan Duran at number 5. I have him above Balazovic, even though he was kind of my guy heading into last year. I just think Duran is a little bit higher of a ceiling. A big, tall, strong guy. Just love the way this guy looks on the mound. He's got to limit some walks, but I think the sky's the limit really for him. It's going to be fun to see what he does in 2020.
Play to end that inning.
Fast pitch game, so it's like you can't catch up as he throws the second pitch. Fastball hitting the inside corner. Strike 2.
And amazingly, that one registered 98. Knows how to pitch.
Ball in the dirt for Duran. And just like that, he ends up striking out Grotjahn. Great start for Duran, striking out Grotjahn. 1, 2, 3.
Scrolling on down to number 4 is Trevor Larnach. Really the Twins minor league hitter of the year. The Twins picked him for that. Twins Daily picked him for that. With so many other guys enduring some injuries, it was nice to see Larnach stay healthy, put in a full season's worth of work, and really do a ton of damage, even in the Florida State League where it's difficult to put up big numbers. Here's a highlight of his.
1 down. 2-1 pitch lifted in the air to center. Racing back is the center fielder Swaggerty. He'll look up and watch this ball go over the fence. The lead has dissipated.
Bumping on down to number 3, Brusdar Graterol. I've talked about him enough on this channel of late with the Maeda trade, and actually I just wrote about him at Twins Daily for the Twins Daily list where he came in at number 4. So go read that. We'll skip over him since he's no longer in the organization. I'm sure you're probably tired of me talking about him anyway of late. Number 2, Alex Kirilloff. This is kind of the same order. I've had these guys for a while now and just haven't really been compelled to move them around either way. But man, Alex Kirilloff, this is a special hitter. He missed a big chunk of the season this year, but then came back and in the postseason was an absolute monster for Pensacola. Hit a home run in 4 straight postseason games for them. Really impressive. Got in some work at first base this year, which is important, in my opinion, for him to develop a little bit of positional flexibility. Power to all fields, but man, when he pulls on one, holy smokes, his power is ridiculous.
Maybe ever again.
1-1 swung on and hammered deep to
That is
right.
outta here.
It is gone. Over the video board for Alex Kirilloff.
We're watching just a major league hitter. That's all there is. I mean, he is a big-time hitter, and really just showed it right there.
Hit the top of the video board off the very own Blue Wahoo's icon. Our camera crew couldn't even locate it. That's how high and far it was crushed.
One we will be talking about, really, when you say, man, I was there to see Alex Kirilloff.
And then at number 1, Royce Lewis, kind of similar to what I was saying about Alex Kirilloff and how he really kind of had some injuries during the season and then really pushed in the postseason. Royce Lewis kind of did that in a way that regular season, and then he was the MVP of the Arizona Fall League. So not really an impressive regular season for Royce Lewis. He was facing advanced competition. This is a guy who's still only 20 years old at this point. And as you can see, his strikeout rate and his walk rates were both respectable. So he just needs to hit the ball harder and play a little bit more often, maybe get a little bit better at pitch recognition. I do think that he has a swing change that's definitely got to come in his future. I'm kind of surprised the Twins haven't addressed that yet. However, his power is real. I think maybe now that he is getting a little bit bigger, getting a little bit older, he'll realize he doesn't need such a huge leg kick in order to generate that power.
He waits on Rosie's first pitch. Swings and drives one deep to left. Back goes Carl Chester at the wall, and that one is gone. A big fly for Royce Lewis.
And he's so athletic. That's kind of the headliner still that people talk about is his athleticism. but I think Royce Lewis is going to hit for a ton of power down the road. Another thing he gets high marks on is his makeup. And, a lot of people doubt whether or not he's going to be a shortstop. I believe that the Twins will keep him as a shortstop. They've kept Jorge Polanco there, and he's not the greatest shortstop. I'm not saying I think Lewis could be a upper echelon defensive shortstop, but his footwork has improved a lot to me at the position. But if he has to move off of short, he's either going to third or he's going to center field. And, those are still pretty primo positions to fill. All right, so there is the top 10. If you missed any of the installments, again, this was a top 50 list. So I did 5 videos. I'll put links in the description down to the previous ones if you want to check those out. Try to kind of discover some more things on maybe some guys you haven't heard much on. And again, the Twins Prospect Handbook is available now. I know me and Seth Stows would really appreciate it if you supported that project. But if you enjoyed this list, if you're looking forward to more prospect talk coming every week on this channel, give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Again, this has been Tom Froming with Twins Daily. Have a good one. We will talk again soon.